Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever given everything to a man only to watch him walk away and marry someone else? And you're left sitting there wondering, what did I do wrong? Well, I'm about to tell you exactly why that happens, and more importantly, why it's not your fault. The truth is, some men will sleep with you but marry someone else. And understanding why could be the game changer you need to never settle for less again. Let's dive in. Ladies, let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. You ever been with a man, gave him your heart, your body, your time, your trust, and then watched him walk down the aisle with another woman like you never existed?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. See, here's what you need to understand. Sex is easy, commitment ain't. A man can sleep with a woman and not feel a single emotional bond. That's not because he's cold, it's because he's wired different. Sex don't mean the same to him unless he's emotionally invested. So don't think just because y'all shared a bed, y'all shared a future. Let me break this down now. Men marry standards, not just chemistry. You might have fire chemistry, y'all laugh, vibe, maybe even finish each other's sentences. But if he doesn't see you as wife material, that's it. A man could love how you make him feel, but still not see you standing beside him at the altar. And here's the part nobody wants to say. If he didn't have to earn you, he won't value you. We're hunters by nature. If everything came easy, no challenge, no standards, no self-respect, he's going to enjoy it for a while, but he won't respect it long term. Real talk. Now, don't let a man waste your time talking about who's not ready. Listen to me, men know early who they want to marry. A man can meet a woman and in the first few months know whether she's wife potential. If he's dragging his feet and stringing you along year after year, it ain't confusion. That man's already made his decision. You might be stuck in the worst category a woman can be in, the fun girl. That's the woman he calls late at night, takes trips with, laughs with, but deep down he knows, I'm not bringing her home to my mama. And you might think you're wifey because you're doing wife things, cooking, cleaning, supporting his dreams, but to him, you're just a pit stop. And finally, I'm going to say this plain, if a man can get the milk for free, why would he buy the cow? Harsh. Maybe, but true. If you're giving him all the benefits of a relationship with no commitment, no standards, no requirements, he has no reason to change the situation. You already gave him the finish line without making him run the race. So here's what I want you to take away. Stop auditioning for roles you haven't been promised. Love yourself enough to require more. Don't just be a woman he sleeps with. Be the woman he prays for. Be the woman he has to marry because he knows he'll never find another like you. Ladies, let me tell you something that's going to sting a little, but you need to hear it. Sex. That's easy. Commitment. Now that's the part that separates the boys from the men. See, a man can sleep with you, enjoy your body, laugh with you, lay next to you every night, and still not be thinking 1 second about forever. It don't mean he's evil. It just means he's being a man the way some men have been allowed to be. No accountability, no intention, just vibes and convenience. And here's the real kicker. A man doesn't need to love you to sleep with you. In fact, sometimes he don't even need to like you that much. All he needs is access. That's it. You let him in, he's going to walk through that door, even if he ain't planning to stay. You're thinking, well, we've been intimate. Surely that means something. Baby, it meant something to you. But to him, it might have just been a Thursday night. Let's be honest, a man can be physically involved and emotionally detached. Y'all over here trying to read into his cuddling like it's a contract. You thinking, he held me tight after. That has to mean he cares. Girl, no. That's body heat. That's comfort. That's muscle memory. That ain't a marriage proposal. See, women attach emotion to sex, men. Not always. We don't operate like that. A man can compartmentalize, sleep with you, call you beautiful, buy you dinner, and still turn around and tell his boys, she cool, but she ain't the one. That's how it works when you're not dealing with a man who knows what he wants or respects what he's getting. And some of y'all are confusing time with intention. Just cause he's around all the time don't mean he's building something with you. You ever see a squatter? They live in a house that ain't theirs, they get comfortable. They move stuff in, sleep there, maybe even pay a bill or two, but they're still not the owner. Just because he's lying next to you every night doesn't mean he's building a life with you. Some of these men are just squatters in your heart. I know it ain't fair. You gave him your best. You showed up, you showed love, you gave your time, your body, your spirit. But here's the raw truth. A man can take all that and still be interviewing candidates for the real position. Why? Because to him it was just convenient. You were available, not necessarily valued. Now let's talk about the good girl trap. You think if you just love him enough, support him enough, ride for him long enough, he's going to wake up and say, wow, she's really been here for me. I should marry her. Nah, a man already knows who he sees as wife material. It ain't about how long you hold him down, how many meals you cook, or how many of his problems you fix. He's not marrying effort. He's marrying vision. He marries who fits the vision he's built in his mind. And if you ain't that, no amount of love is going to get you that ring. And sometimes the problem ain't what you're doing. It's what you're accepting. If all he has to do is text you up and he's in your bed in 20 minutes, then guess what? He never had to show up as anything more than that. You taught him that's all he needed to be. And we, as men, will only rise to the level we have to rise to. If I can fly coach and still get treated like I paid for first class, I'm never upgrading my seat. Why would I? I'm getting first class benefits at economy effort. Now I ain't saying all men are like this, but I'm saying enough are that you need to pay attention. Stop thinking that sex is going to lead to something deeper. If he ain't made his intentions clear before you gave him the goods, don't be surprised when he disappears after. Don't expect commitment from convenience. Don't confuse pleasure with purpose. And don't let a man borrow your body when he ain't got the credit to invest in your future. Stop handing out husband privileges to men that haven't even earned boyfriend status. Respect yourself enough to say, no, you don't get all of me without giving all of you. Because when a man really sees you, really sees you, and knows you're the one, he'll treat you like a prize, not a pit stop. Now, here's something every woman needs to understand. A man don't marry chemistry alone. That connection you feel when y'all talk all night, laugh till your stomach hurts, or vibe to the same playlist. That's nice. That's real nice. But let me tell you what's even more important to a man when he's thinking about marriage is standards. That's right, standards. See, he may lay down with the woman who excites him, but he'll stand at the altar with the woman who challenges him, the one who makes him rise up and be better. A man can enjoy being around you, be attracted to you, and still not see you as his wife. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. He might love the way you look in a dress, love how you throw down in the kitchen, love how you make him feel like a king, but that don't automatically make you the queen in his story. Men make emotional decisions for fun, but logical ones for forever. When it comes time to settle down, a man isn't just asking, who do I have the most fun with? He's asking, who fits into my future? Who carries herself like someone I want to build a legacy with? Let me give it to you straight. Some of y'all are showing up with passion, but no boundaries. You're giving him all the perks, the love, the loyalty, the peace, and hoping that he'll pick you just because you gave him everything. But he ain't just looking for everything. He's looking for the right thing. And sometimes that woman he has fun with ain't the one he sees raising his kids or representing his name. Let's be real. You ever wonder how a man can date a woman for years, then break up with her and 6 months later marry someone else? You thinking, was I not enough? Oh, you were enough for the level he was on back then. But when it came time for him to level up, he chose the woman whose life, character, and direction matched where he was trying to go. It wasn't about who did more for him. It was about who reflected what he needed for the long haul. See, you can be fine, loyal, ride, or die, have all the vibes, and still not be chosen. Because to that man, you weren't aligned with his future. You were part of a season, not part of the story. Some women are there for the fun chapter. Some women are there for the forever one. And what separates them? It ain't looks. It ain't sex. It's how you carry yourself. It's what you demand. It's your standards. Let me break it down even more. If you don't stand for something, he'll use you for everything. When a man sees you respecting yourself, making him earn your time, requiring honesty, emotional maturity, and vision, that's when he stops playing. That's when he knows, this one right here, I gotta come correct. And if he ain't ready to come correct, he'll walk away. And you know what? Good. Let him. Because the man who's really ready will see your standards as a sign of value, not a burden. But when a man can slide into your life and do the bare minimum, still get all the access, all the love, all the support, what reason does he have to elevate anything? If he gets championship treatment in preseason, he ain't got no reason to play for real. And don't let him convince you that you're too much because you got boundaries. Let him go. If he can't match your energy, your growth, your goals, he was never your man to begin with. He was just passing through. Let me tell you what a real man wants. He wants peace, yes. He wants loyalty, yes. But more than that, he wants alignment. He wants someone who reflects the man he's trying to be. That means you've got to hold yourself to the same standard you want from him. Be consistent. Be grounded. Be clear about what you will and won't accept. That's how you get chosen, not by trying to please him, but by refusing to shrink yourself just to keep him. So stop leading with how much you can give and start standing in how much you're worth. Because the truth is, a man may sleep with the one who thrills him, but he'll marry the one who grounds him. Let me tell y'all something that'll change how you look at relationships forever. Access without effort kills value. Now, I want you to sit with that for a second. If a man don't have to work for it, don't expect him to treat it like it's priceless. We men were built to chase. We love the hunt. We respect what we have to earn. But the moment it's just handed over, no standards, no boundaries, no expectations, we stop seeing it as something special, not because we're evil, but because that's how value works. Look, anything you can get too easily, people don't treat it with care. That's just human nature. If I give you a Rolex for free, you might not even put it back in the box at night. But if you saved up for it, worked hard, and finally bought it yourself, man, you're going to clean it, lock it up, shine it every week. That same watch, same value, but it means more because you invested in it. Relationships ain't that different. A man who ain't putting no real effort for you ain't going to treat you like a priority. He's going to treat you like an option because that's how he got you. And let me say this loud for the women in the back giving a man everything up front. Your time, your energy, your body, your heart, before he's proven he even deserves a seat at your table. That's a recipe for disrespect. That ain't love. That's self-sabotage. You think you're showing him you're a good woman, but what you're really doing is teaching him he can have all the benefits without doing any of the work. Now, I know some of y'all say, but if I don't give him everything, he'll leave. And if he does, so what? Let him. If a man walks away because you had standards, then you just saved yourself years of stress. You don't want to be with somebody who only stayed because it was easy. That ain't love. That's convenience. You got to stop being afraid of a man walking away and start being afraid of a man staying for the wrong reasons. You ever notice how some women give a man everything, play wife, act like the full package, and still get left for somebody who made him work? It's not because she was better than you. It's because she required more. And when you require more, you bring more out of a man. He either levels up or moves on. But when you just hand everything over, he never has to grow, never has to commit, never has to decide what kind of man he really wants to be. Let me tell you something. We don't value what's free. We value what we have to earn. That's why men show up different for the woman who makes them wait. Not just for sex, but for access. Emotional access, time, energy, respect. You think it's about playing games. It's not. It's about setting the tone for how you deserve to be treated. Because how you start is how it's going to go. If you start by giving him the whole cake just for showing up hungry, don't get mad when he don't come back with a fork and plate next time. And I ain't just talking about physical stuff. I'm talking about everything. If he don't have to earn your peace, your vulnerability, your attention, he won't protect it. He won't cherish it. Because in his mind, it came cheap, not because you're cheap, but because you priced yourself too low. You ever go into a store, see something with a high price tag, and suddenly it just feels more valuable. That's psychology. That's perception. You can be the most incredible woman walking this earth, but if you don't make him work to experience that greatness, he's going to take it for granted. He's going to think what you're giving him is normal, and it's not. You're a whole blessing. But if he don't have to earn you, he won't know how rare you are. So stop giving husband benefits to men who haven't even proven they deserve a second date. Stop letting these men get all access passes when they ain't done one thing to earn VIP. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. And if you give yourself away too easily, you make it too easy to be forgotten. Now I want to talk to the ladies who've been hanging around, waiting on a man to be ready. You've been patient, you've been loyal, you've been giving your all to a man who keeps saying, "I'm not ready yet." Sound familiar? Let me tell you something that might hurt at first, but I promise it'll set you free. When a man says, "I'm not ready," believe him. But also understand, it don't take a man 10 years to know if he wants to marry you. It don't take 5. Honestly, it don't even take 2. A man knows early who he sees as his wife. And if he's not moving in that direction, then you're not it, at least not for him. See, here's the secret. When a man is serious about you, you don't have to guess. You won't be confused. He don't need to finish school, stack more money, heal from his past, check his horoscope, or wait for the planets to align. None of that. When a man wants you, when he knows you're the one, he will find a way to make it work, period. Because a man's readiness is less about timing and more about motivation. When the right woman shows up, a man who wasn't thinking about marriage will suddenly start acting like he's been planning the wedding his whole life. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking, but he told me he loves me. He says I'm his everything, and you might be everything to the version of him that wants to feel loved but not commit. There's a difference between loving someone and choosing them for life. That man might love you, but that don't mean he sees you as the one he wants to build with. That don't mean he's going to step up and claim you in the way you deserve. And that's the danger of sitting in that almost relationship. You're giving your all to a man who's only giving you part of himself. Let me make this plain. If a man really sees you as his future, he's not going to risk losing you. He's not going to keep dragging his feet, playing house, and leaving you in limbo. He's going to move with clarity, with purpose. Because when a man is ready for you, it don't matter what else ain't perfect in his life. His money might not be right. His career might still be growing. But if his heart is right, he'll still pursue you like you're the greatest thing that's ever happened to him. And if he's not doing that, you're not his priority. You're just a placeholder. And I know it's hard to walk away when you've invested years into someone. You're thinking about the time, the energy, the dreams you built in your head. But let me tell you something, time don't equal worth. Don't let how long you've been with him trick you into thinking he's the one. Some people are only meant to be lessons, not lifelong partners. And the longer you stay in the wrong relationship, the longer you block the right one from showing up. Here's another truth a lot of women ignore. Men don't leave women they want to marry. Read that again. If he walked away, if he needed space, if he kept you in a situationship for 5 years and then married the next woman in 6 months, baby, he was never confused. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was keeping you around until he found what he wanted. And sometimes that next woman, she had higher standards. She made him step up. She didn't wait on his potential. She required his effort. So don't waste your life trying to prove you're worthy of a man who can't even decide if he wants you. You are not a backup plan. You are not a trial run. You are not his therapy. If he needs to find himself, let him do that without you losing yourself in the process. A grown man, don't need forever to figure out if he wants to keep you. He just needs to recognize your value and move accordingly. And if he can't do that, don't stand still hoping he'll change. Because while you're waiting on him to be ready, he's out here living like he's already made his decision. Let me talk to the women who keep asking themselves this one question. Why did he choose her and not me? And you sitting there looking at the woman he married thinking, she don't look better than me. She don't love him like I did. She couldn't have treated him better than I did. And you know what? You might be absolutely right. But here's the truth. Most people don't want to hear. Men don't always marry the best woman. They marry the woman who came at the right time for where they were ready to grow up. See, a man can date 10 women and not be ready for commitment with any of them. And then one day, something in him clicks. It ain't about who she is as much as where he is. That man you helped build, the one you stood by, supported, believed in when nobody else did, he may not reward you with a ring. He may take all that growth and maturity he found with you and use it to be a husband to somebody else. And I know that's hard to swallow. I know it don't feel fair. But you have to understand a man doesn't just marry who's around. He marries when he's ready to be a husband, and you don't control that clock. You could have done everything right. You could have cooked clean, been loyal, prayed for him, uplifted him, helped him through hard times, and he still may not have seen you as the one. Not because you weren't worthy, but because he was still trying to find himself. And sometimes when a man is lost, he ain't thinking about building with nobody. He's thinking about survival. So while you're investing in a future, he's just passing time. Here's the painful part: you may be the reason he became the man that was finally ready for marriage, just not marriage with you. And that'll break your heart if you don't understand how men grow. A man doesn't just wake up and decide to be a husband. He has to go through life, make mistakes, lose things, learn lessons, feel the weight of his own immaturity. And by the time he's done all that, sometimes the woman who walked with him through the fire ain't the one standing with him at the altar. Because timing for a man is everything. I've seen men walk away from amazing women simply because they weren't ready to step into manhood. And I've seen those same men turn around and marry someone who didn't do half of what the first woman did, but they were ready when she came along. That's not about better. That's not about more deserving. That's just timing. It's about where he was mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Some women got the best of a man's struggle. Others get the best of his maturity. That's the game, whether we like it or not. And here's another thing you need to hear. You were never in competition with her. He didn't choose her over you. He chose where he was in life. You didn't lose. He just wasn't ready to win with you. That ain't your fault. So stop comparing yourself. Stop breaking yourself down trying to figure out what she did that you didn't. She might have just walked in at the moment he finally grew up. You were the seed. She just happened to be there when the fruit showed up. But don't let that make you bitter. Don't let it make you hard. Because the right man, the one who's already done the work, who's already mature, who knows what he wants, when he shows up, he won't need years to figure you out. He'll recognize your value because he's already gone through what he needed to in order to appreciate a woman like you. So don't lower your standards. Don't question your worth. Don't try to become more like her, because your blessing don't come by trying to fit into someone else's timing. It comes by standing firm in yours. When a man is truly ready, you won't have to beg, convince, or prove your value. He'll already know. Now, let's get into something that is so critical: the power of walking away. I know it sounds crazy, but trust me when I tell you this, sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is leave. And I ain't talking about leaving when it gets hard. I'm talking about leaving when you realize you're not getting what you deserve. You got to understand this. When you're dealing with someone who's not giving you the commitment, the respect, and the effort you deserve, it's not a failure to walk away. It's an act of self-respect. It's about knowing when you've invested enough of your time, your energy, and your heart into someone who won't invest in you the same way. Look, I know that nobody wants to leave a relationship, especially when you've been pouring into it, building hopes, creating memories, and dreaming of a future together. It's hard to face the fact that you've been giving so much to someone who won't even give you the basic things you need. But here's the truth. You can't keep asking for the respect you're not getting. You can't keep demanding loyalty from someone who is playing games with your heart. And I don't care how much you love him or how much you've invested. If he's not showing up for you in a way that makes you feel valued, then you've got to walk away. You know, a lot of women think they're leaving means they're giving up. But what you're really doing is taking back your power. You're saying, I know my worth, and I'm not going to sit here and waste my life on somebody who doesn't see it. That's strength. That's wisdom. And let me tell you, you'll never regret choosing your own peace over staying in a relationship that's dragging you down. A lot of times, we hold on to these relationships because we're afraid of being alone. We're afraid of what people will think, what we'll look like, or maybe we're afraid that no one else will come along. But what you're not seeing is that when you choose to stay with a man who's not right for you, you're blocking the door for someone who could come in and love you the way you deserve. You're blocking your blessing by holding on to something that's already broken. And the longer you stay, the harder it is to let go. But let me tell you something, it's a whole lot easier to walk away while you still have your dignity, while you still have your value, while you still have your options. Because if you stay too long, you end up losing yourself in the process. Now, I'm not saying walking away is easy. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. But you've got to realize by walking away, you're showing the world, and more importantly yourself, that you have enough respect for who you are to walk away from anything that doesn't treat you right. You're saying, I deserve better, and that's powerful. I'm telling you, the moment you decide to walk away, you begin to reclaim your worth. You start moving toward the life that was meant for you, away from the distractions and the confusion, and into a future that matches your potential. Here's the thing, when a man truly values you, when he sees you as the woman he wants to marry, he's not going to make you question your place in his life. He's not going to keep you in the dark, not going to keep stringing you along, making you wait for something that never comes. A real man, a man who's ready to commit, will show you from day one that you matter. He'll make time for you, he'll invest in you, and most importantly, he'll make you feel safe, loved, and cherished. So if you're not getting that, it's time to walk away and make room for someone who will. I don't care how much you've invested in the relationship, how many memories you've built, or how much you feel like it's a loss. Sometimes walking away is the greatest win you'll ever have, because by leaving what doesn't serve you, you make room for everything that's meant for you. And the truth is, no man can ever take your peace or your self-worth unless you give him permission to. So take that power back, walk away, and never apologize for it. At the end of the day, ladies, it all boils down to one simple truth. You have to know your value. You have to recognize your worth before anyone else can. When you understand how precious you are, you won't settle for anything less than what you deserve. You won't be afraid to walk away from someone who isn't treating you right, because you'll know there's a man out there who will cherish you the way you've always deserved. Remember, you're not here to be an option, to be a backup, or to be someone's maybe. You're not here to wait for a man to be ready. You are here to be loved, to be respected, to be adored. But that only starts when you set the standard, when you stop accepting breadcrumbs, when you stop giving yourself away for free, when you stop settling for potential and start demanding real, consistent effort. You teach people how to treat you. And if you choose yourself first, if you walk away from the wrong situations, if you require respect and commitment, you will attract a man who's ready for you. It's not easy. It won't always feel fair. But at the end of the day, the right man, the one who's ready to build with you, to cherish you, to honor you, he'll show up. And when he does, you'll realize why you had to wait. So don't settle. Don't be afraid to walk away and know your value. And when you do, the right man will see it, respect it, and claim it. You are worth the wait, the effort, and the love. Keep your head up, and don't ever forget that.